jungle is alive. Every shadow hides a threat. Every rustle could be death. For 5 days, soldiers have fought tooth and nail to hold this forest, soaked in rain, mud, and blood. Somewhere ahead, enemy forces push relentlessly, hungry for control. 3 veterans move silently through the darkness, rifles in hand, grenades ready. Their mission: strike the enemy command camp hidden deep in the jungle before dawn. One wrong step, one misfire, and it's over. The camp lies ahead, sleeping under dim lanterns, radios whispering orders, weapons stacked and ready. Maps detail the next assault. For those inside, the war is still theirs to plan if these men fail. A grenade flies, detonating with a violent roar. Chaos explodes among the tents, men screaming, bullets tearing through the night. But the forest hides numbers they did not expect. The hunters are about to become the hunted. Before we dive into this jungle nightmare, make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and tell us in the comments what would you do if your entire squad was pinned in enemy territory? It is 1967, deep within a dense forest near the Vietnam-Thailand border. 2 forces, both Asian, clash in a brutal fight for control of a strategic corridor. The territory is more than just land. It commands supply routes, observation points, and a path for future operations. Whoever controls it gains an undeniable advantage. For 5 relentless days, the forest has been a battlefield. Vietnamese defenders, outnumbered but hardened by years of conflict, dig in among tangled vines and hidden ravines. Every step forward is met with gunfire. Every clearing could be a trap. The attackers from Thailand press relentlessly, seeking to capture the corridor, destroy defensive positions, and break the spirit of the defenders. Amid this chaos, the Vietnamese discover something vital: an enemy command post hidden deep in the jungle. Radios hum with orders, weapons are stacked and ready, and soldiers rest between attacks. Destroying this camp could turn the tide, but the path to it is a nightmare of shadows, bullets, and death. The jungle is a living trap. Every branch snaps underfoot. Every insect shriek echoes like a warning. The leader of the defenders scans the darkness, then makes his decision. He will go himself, accompanied by the 2 most experienced soldiers in the unit. Their eyes meet his, a silent understanding passing between them. Tonight, only the skilled survive. Rifles clutched tightly and grenades secured to their belts. The trio moves cautiously, step by step, weaving through the dense foliage. Ahead, the enemy command post waits, hidden under the canopy as if the forest itself protects it. Rain begins to fall, a fine mist that clings to skin and uniform. Visibility drops to mere meters. Yet, the 3 veterans advance, each movement deliberate, every sound considered. The forest closes around them like a living cage. A single misstep could mean discovery. A single wrong breath could trigger death. They reach the perimeter of the camp. Tents loom through the darkness, dim lanterns flickering inside. Soldiers lie asleep, unaware of the danger moving silently toward them. Radios hum faintly with orders. Maps of the jungle, strewn across makeshift tables, detail the enemy's planned attack. The leader glances at his companions, and not as all they need. They strike now, or the opportunity will vanish. A grenade arcs through the air, landing perfectly among the tents. The explosion shatters the night, sending wood splintering and men screaming. Bullets tear through the jungle, ricocheting off trees, cutting paths through mud and foliage. Chaos erupts as the enemy scrambles. From their rest, confusion overtaking discipline. For a moment, the 3 feel unstoppable. Their precision and experience allow them to neutralize multiple targets, exploiting the camp's initial disarray. Every shot, every movement is deliberate. Each breath carries the weight of survival. Each heartbeat a countdown toward fate. But the forest is unforgiving. Reinforcements emerge from the shadows, more soldiers than anticipated. The narrow path through mud and trees leaves them exposed. Footsteps and shouted commands remind them that control is slipping, that the enemy's strength is far greater than they first believed. The 3 veterans try to hold their positions among shattered tents and smoking debris. Every rustle, every distant shout reminds them that reinforcements are closing in. They fire where they must, but for every enemy they take down, 2 more seem to appear from the shadows. The initial chaos of their attack is turned into a deadly hunt. The leader signals his companions to fall back slowly. trying to keep cover behind fallen trees and dense undergrowth. Their eyes scan the darkness for gaps, for any chance to escape. But the enemy has anticipated the counter. Moving with disciplined precision, their numbers surround the veterans like a tightening noose. Every step forward risks exposure. Every moment wasted could be the last. Bullets ricochet past their helmets, splintering wood and scattering debris. One of the veterans throws a grenade toward an advancing squad, buying a few precious seconds. Smoke and screams mix with the sound of rain hitting leaves. For a fleeting moment, it feels like they might break the encirclement, but then, more voices and more rifles appear from the jungle shadows, cutting off any path of retreat. A sudden charge pins them from the flank. The leader shouts. Rifles fire, but it is futile. The enemy presses relentlessly, and with ammunition almost gone, resistance becomes a matter of survival, not victory. One by one, they are forced to lower their weapons as enemy hands grab them, dragging them into the jungle. Bound with rough ropes, the three veterans are pulled toward the enemy lines. Their muscles strain against the bindings, but escape is impossible now. The enemy does not strike them down. There is a purpose to this capture. They want intelligence maps, plans, strategies. They want to know exactly how the defenders organize their resistance. The leader meets the eyes of his companions. No words are spoken, but a promise passes between them. Nothing will be revealed. The interrogators try threats, intimidation, even brute force, but the veterans remain silent. Pain and fear do not break them. Discipline and experience hold their resolve intact. Meanwhile, in the wider battlefield, the absence of the three experienced soldiers begins to show. The defenders struggle without their guidance. Lines falter, coordination breaks down, and the enemy begins pushing forward with renewed aggression. The jungle, once a defensive ally, now feels like a cage, the forest closing in on those who remain, and those captured are at the mercy of a relentless foe. Morning creeps through the jungle, pale light struggling to pierce the thick canopy. The defenders are faltering, pushed back by the relentless assault. The enemy presses forward, confident that the captured veterans are out of the fight, but the three soldiers, bound and bruised, are far from defeated. Every muscle aches. Every breath is heavy, but their minds remain sharp, calculating. Few guards remain watching them, distracted by the chaos of battle. The ropes bite into their wrists, but the veterans begin subtly shifting, testing every knot and strain point, using small, precise movements. They gradually loosen the bindings, wiggling their wrists inch by inch while pretending to slump in exhaustion. Each minor success is measured against the risk of detection. Every second counts. As enemy patrols move past, they seize the opportunity. The leader signals, and in a coordinated effort, they twist, pull, and snap free from the ropes. Their movements are silent, deliberate, practiced. Once unbound, they silently neutralize the nearest distracted guards, taking their rifles and grenades. In the undergrowth, shadows become allies, the forest masking their escape. They move through the thick foliage, crawling under low branches, rolling through mud, and using every fold of terrain to avoid detection. The jungle itself hides them, every rustle and snap of leaves carefully calculated to blend with natural sounds. Patience and experience guide each step as they navigate toward the rear of the enemy lines. Finally, they strike. Grenades arc silently, landing behind enemy soldiers who are left to guard the flanks. Gunfire erupts as the few remaining sentries fall. Confusion spreads instantly. The enemy does not know if the attack is a retreat, reinforcements, or an ambush. Meanwhile, defenders in the front line see figures emerging from the tree line. The veterans are back in the fight, attacking from the shadows, transforming the battle into a two-front nightmare. Enemy lines begin to crumble, orders are lost in shouts and gunfire, and chaos reigns. By mid-morning, the tide has shifted. The enemy retreats in disarray, forced back by fire from both directions. The three veterans stand in the forest, battered but alive. Their escape through patience, skill, and brutal determination has changed the battle's outcome. The impossible, it seems, has just become reality. The defenders are battered, their lines fractured, and the enemy believes victory is within reach. But the three veterans, newly freed and armed, move through the undergrowth like shadows of death. Their eyes lock on the enemy's rear positions. calculating every shot, every explosion, every step. Today, the battle will shift toward end in their death. The defenders in front are pinned down, barely holding the line. The enemy presses forward, unaware that the threat from behind is already stalking them. The three soldiers wait, hidden by vines and fallen trees, listening to the rhythm of the enemy assault. Timing is everything. A single misstep now could undo all their efforts. Then, they strike. Grenades arc silently, landing in the midst of the enemy rear. Explosions tear through tents and equipment, cutting off lines of retreat and communication. Rifle fire follows, precise and merciless. Panic spreads instantly. The enemy had believed the veterans were gone. Now they face death from the shadows, and chaos erupts. From the front, the remaining defenders see the sudden assault. A spark of hope ignites. The battle shifts into a coordinated two-front attack, defenders engaging head-on, veterans decimating the enemy from behind. The forest becomes a maze of smoke, fire, and gunfire, with enemy soldiers scattered and trapped. The enemy tries to flee, but the jungle leaves them with nowhere to go. One by one, soldiers fall under the relentless assault. By mid-morning, almost all have been killed. Only 7 exhausted survivors remain, surrendering to the defenders, their faces pale with fear and defeat. The 3 veterans, bruised but relentless, emerge from the shadows. Their calculated assault and unyielding courage have turned near defeat into total victory. The defenders regain full control of the strategic corridor, the jungle now eerily quiet except for the distant cries of the fallen. The battle is over. Every decision, every risk, every ounce of courage has altered the fate of the fight. In the dense, suffocating jungle, survival, skill, and audacity have triumphed, leaving the enemy decimated and the defenders victorious. The 7 survivors kneel, a stark reminder of the cost of underestimating the few against the many. The 3 veterans, battered, bloodied, and exhausted, stand among the fallen, their eyes scanning the forest for any sign of remaining threats. Their courage and calculated risk have turned near defeat into an improbable victory. The cost is heavy. The enemy has been decimated. Only 7 surrender, trembling and broken. The defenders have lost comrades, the battle leaving scars both seen and unseen. Yet the outcome proves one truth: experience, skill, and unwavering resolve can change the tide. Even when the odds seem insurmountable, every decision, every calculated risk, every ounce of courage mattered. If this story gripped you, hit that like button, subscribe for more tales of extreme survival in modern warfare, and leave a comment. What would you do if your entire squad was pinned in enemy territory? Every battle is a test of strategy, courage, and endurance, and sometimes the smallest group can change the fate of an entire fight.